Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today we're taking a look at a new camera rod I've just purchased, and it is the Panasonic Lumix S9. Now when this first came out, it had a mixed response. Some people loved it, a lot of people didn't like it, and some people thought it was overpriced. Now I never bought it when it came out because I did think it was overpriced. It was around £1,500 body only, then you had to buy a lens with it. Now it's at a fabulous price, so I thought, well, let's give it a go, see what it's like. I got it from a reputable retailer, so I could return it if I didn't get on with it, but I'm keeping it. It's fabulous. So we're looking at the Panasonic S9. Now this isn't an in-depth review, this is just my first impressions review of this particular camera. I mean, first impressions are excellent. I'm going to be going through a few photographs on my computer here, so you can see the sort of images that this camera takes. I'll also leave them on my Flickr page. I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can find those photographs. So it's much better to look at them on Flickr than it is on this YouTube channel, because I'm only going to flick through them. Now the Panasonic Lumix S9 is a full frame camera, and that's what made it so interesting for me. It's in a really compact body, and it's not very heavy. With this lens, this is the 18-40 lens, so it's ultra wide to wide, well, ultra wide to almost standard, so you can use it as a portrait lens. You wouldn't use it as a portrait lens because the aperture range doesn't go wide enough really for that, and 40mm isn't quite portrait anyway, but it's still a good range as a standard travel camera. If you're going out and about for the day or you're going on holiday, it's a great lens to keep on the camera. It makes it really compact and really lightweight. It's about 718 grams all in, with the battery, the lens, and obviously the camera body. So a very decent size. It's got the 3-inch articulating screen, which you find on most cameras these days, so that's nothing fancy there, but a 3-inch articulating screen, touch screen. Again, that's pretty common for Panasonic cameras, and a really nice form factor. The only thing I don't like, there is no grip on the front. I think they've done that to make it look sexier and just really attractive. It's kind of got the sort of Leica look, I guess, or Fuji look maybe. So what I bought is a third-party little grip, really, basically, but I keep on it all the time. I've taken it off for this particular review, but I would normally keep that on it because it gives a little bit of a grip to hold on to. It has the same sensor as the Panasonic S5 Mark II, so it's got that 24 megapixel sensor, so you're going to get great images, full frame sensor, so you get that lovely separation between the background and the foreground, and that lovely look that the full frame sensor gives, and it's great in low light as well, being that it's got a full frame sensor. So an all-round great travel camera. The other thing I love about this particular camera, it's got IBIS, so it's got in-body image stabilization. You're not reliant on stabilization in the lens, it's actually in the body of the camera. So this particular lens I've got fitted has no image stabilization in the lens, so the body provides the image stabilization, so you can still shoot at really slow shutter speeds and get great sharp photographs. Now I'm using this predominantly as a photographic camera, although when Panasonic launched this particular camera, it was more launched as a content creation camera, more for video than it is for photography, but I love it as a photography camera. It has no mechanical shutter, so you can't use flash guns with this. There is actually no hot shoe on the camera, it's just a cold shoe for putting on microphones or lights. There is no hot shoe on the camera, so you're not going to be able to use a flash gun with it. But I don't take flash photography anyway very often. I do occasionally, but not very often, and I've got other cameras if I need that particular feature. But as a straightforward travel camera, it is great. Now it's got a little blue light glowing on the top there. That's indicating that Bluetooth is turned on. And what I love about this particular camera, that I'm struggled with all the other manufacturers, they've got it right. Panasonic have got it really right, is the integration with this and its mobile phone app called Lumix Lab, or Panasonic Lab, something like that. It works brilliantly with my phone, so I'm really chuffed with that. I can actually take the photographs on here. As long as I've got the app open, it will download the images straight to the app automatically, and it does it. You see connect button there. As long as I connect that connects really quickly, and it downloads the images from the phone to the camera. You just hit the join button. It creates a Wi-Fi hotspot between the camera and the phone, and then that'll automatically download any images. I don't know if there is any images on the camera, but that'll download any images that are on the camera automatically. And you can see if I click on gallery there's a whole lot of images that I've already downloaded that I can then upload straight to Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. The integration with this particular one is excellent, and for me that's really important when I'm going out with my brother. We'll stop for a cup of tea somewhere, and it's great just to be able to upload those images instantly. Really do like that feature. So this is not an in-depth review, it's basically just an overview of what I like about the camera. And a few things that I say I don't like, and a few things that are being missed out. For example, there is no viewfinder. That doesn't really bother me. I've got so used now to taking photographs with cameras that don't have a viewfinder, like using my Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. That has no viewfinder, so it doesn't really concern me at all that there is no viewfinder. There aren't that many function buttons on the camera, but there's enough to work with. For example, when I'm in video, I've got this top button set up to adjust my audio level. So just one push of a button, and then I can set up, where are we? There we are. I can just push that button, and then I can set up the audio levels depending on what sort of microphone that I'm using. I've got the other function buttons set up for different things. It's got a LUT button on the back here. I thought that was a gimmick at first, but I can actually see where that's going to be really handy. It's got a LUT button, so you can set LUTs, what we call real-time LUTs. Now this gets quite complicated, so I'm not going to go into this in any detail, and there's loads of videos online about this anyway. But basically, a LUT is called a lookup table. It's a piece of code actually put into the camera that sets your contrast, brightness, and all the other parameters, sharpness, and you can set it up how you like. I mean, you can save that as a LUT, and then you can bring up that LUT, call it a name, and you can bring that up. And that overlays over the picture, so you get some really nice crispy images coming out of that. Now lots of different people have created different LUTs, so you've got cool LUTs, you've got warm LUTs, you've got all sorts of different types of LUTs, black and white LUTs, sepia LUTs, and then all you do, you just scroll through. Once you've got the LUT button on, you just scroll through here, just choose which LUT you want to overlay on the picture, then it bakes it into that picture. And a series of pictures that you're taking, which is great. And that only works when you're taking photographs. It only works with JPEGs, obviously. So I shoot RAW and JPEG. So I've got the luxury of having the original data, full color RAW data. But for immediate upload into Instagram and Facebook, I can use the image that's a JPEG image, and it has the LUT baked into it, and that is great. And they're the images that I have transferred to my phone. I can transfer me RAW images, but I don't bother. I just transfer the JPEG images, and if I've got a LUT turned on, then that will be baked into that image. It has 6K open gate video recording. That records the whole width of a sensor and has more height. So that is great if you're recording content for the likes of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels. You don't have to film it 2 or 3 times. You only have to film it once. But when you edit it, you create the look that you want to create, and you can do that with 6K open gate video recording. Not many cameras have that, and to have it in a camera that is this compact and this price point, I think is phenomenal. So this camera has so many features, and it has all the video assist features you would find on the far more expensive Panasonic cameras and high-end cameras, such as vector scope, waveform, focus assist, so many other assist features that you wouldn't expect to find on a camera at this sort of price. So yeah, very impressed with that. The camera only has the one SD card slot. I think that's fine at a camera at this price. So many cameras at this price point only have a one SD card slot. It's in the battery compartment, which is a bit disappointing. I wish it had been on the side of the camera. It's a little bit annoying when you've got the camera on a tripod, but no big deal. So it's It's got the one SD card slot just in the side there, that's fine. And it takes the same battery, BLK22 battery, that the S5 Mark II, the GH6, the GH7, and you can use these batteries in the older cameras as well. So a nice, big battery, and you'll get a day's worth of photography out of it. And maybe you might need 2 batteries, but 1 or 2 batteries and you're absolutely fine. USB-C power delivery is available on this camera. It's got USB-C port on the side and HDMI out. It's got a mic jack on the side. It has no headphone jack in this camera. A bit of a disappointment that Panasonic omitted a headphone jack, particularly as they're selling it as a content creation camera. They've put the mic jack above the screen, so the mic jack is just on the side there. But when you've got the screen open, the mic doesn't obscure the screen. So the microphone is above, basically the cable's above the screen. And I think that is a great design. You see there's the mic jack, goes in here, where are we? Mic goes in there, and the screen is below it. So brilliant design, love that. I wish all camera manufacturers did that. It's got a decent switches on it, nice PASM dial on the top. It's good quality switch, good quality construction, enough function buttons to get you by. I am disappointed with the function buttons. You can't set them differently for video and for photos. One thing I do love with the function buttons though, if I want to change what this button at the top does, as I say at the moment I've got it set up for adjusting audio levels. If I want to change that, I haven't got to go into the menu. All I've got to do is a long hard press on the actual button, hold that in, and that brings up the menu to be able to set it to what you want. And they say it's got there set to sound level, sound recording levels, and I can change that to whatever I want. And that's the same with all the function buttons. I'm not going to change it because that's how I want it. I say it's got a nice thumb grip on the back. There is no grip on the front, as I've said, but it's got a nice thumb grip on the back for holding it. So when you are walking around, you've got a nice perch on the camera, but it's even better using the third-party grip. There is only the one command dial, but it is a compact camera, and that suits me. I usually use aperture or shutter priority, so I've got this command dial set up for adjusting the shutter or aperture, and that works, works a treat, no problem with that. But there is no command dial on the back. But it has got this spinning sort of command wheel on the back. So what I've done, I've set it up for this adjusting the aperture or shutter speed, depending on what mode I'm in, and this one for adjusting the exposure compensation. And then in video, I use it in manual, so one would adjust the shutter speed and one would adjust the aperture. The other great thing with this camera, you can set it up to shutter angle in video as opposed to setting a shutter speed. So regardless of what frame rate you're in, it sets the correct shutter angle for that particular frame rate. So that is really good, and I always use shutter angle as opposed to shutter speed. Works great. It has got a dedicated red record button on the top of the camera. You can push that in and that'll start it recording, obviously, and the red record frame does come up on the camera, but there is no tally light, which is a bit disappointing. The fact that it's sold as a content creation camera, I thought Panasonic may have put a tally light on, but they haven't done on this particular model. I think now we ought to take a quick look at some of the photographs taken with this camera. Most of them are taken with the 18-40 lens, mainly because it's a great travel combination. It's lightweight, it's compact. I have taken a few with the 20-60, and I will be using the 20-60 quite a bit because of the extra reach with the 60mm. There is a feature called hybrid zoom. I think it's more intended for video than it is for photography, but you can actually crop in even further. So an 18-40 lens would be something like an 18-60, maybe even more than that. But it is cropping into the sensor, so you are losing pixels, you are losing resolution as you do that. But at a pinch, it could actually be really useful. And I think if you're shooting 4K video, it would be extremely useful. It'd probably crop it into like an APS-C crop. So you're not losing quality in video, but you will lose a little bit of quality if you use it for photography. So let's now take a look at a few images taken with this camera, and predominantly the 18-40 lens. But you see this lens does produce great images. The camera produces great images. I've been blown away by the quality of the images, the sharpness, the clarity, the dynamic range, and everything about this particular camera is just so nice. And it's so lovely to be able to go out, get some amazing images in the camera. It's so compact, but also has image stabilization, so you can shoot at lower shutter speed if you want to create effects, or if you're going into a darker environment, you can reduce the shutter speed as opposed to increasing the ISO, and I think that is a great feature. Yeah, so great images. I'm not going to go into any detail here, but you can see here how beautiful these images are. These are raw files straight out the camera. I haven't done any editing with them at all. They are what they are, and it doesn't matter what sort of environment you're in. Those were taken out and about, but even images taken in my back garden come out nice and crisp. Bear in mind, this isn't the lens that's shooting at like f1.8 or f1.4, where you can get that lovely creamy bokeh between the foreground and the background. These are kit lenses with very limited aperture range, still producing beautiful travel images. So yeah, it's a great combination and a great camera. I will be doing more videos about this camera because I really do love it. And the fact that it has no viewfinder, and you can't use flash with it, and it only has an electronic shutter, doesn't bother me because the images are still coming out fantastic, and I know video is fantastic. I've done some video on here and it is fantastic as well. So there we have it. That's my initial look of a Panasonic S9 camera. I really love it. It will be used as my daily camera because I just think the form factor is really great and it's really compact. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Would really appreciate that. Does help me grow the channel. Thanks very much, and don't forget to share it if you think other people might find this video interesting. There we go. Cheers for now. Bye.